Hello, guys,
And be welcome.
to Vibing with a Purpose.
So today, as we said the last podcast, that maybe it's in the last for you because we're having some problem with the upload thing. Well, the last podcast where we talked about sexuality. This podcast is like the second part. So let's go with it. Sarah, I think the last time you were telling us something about. I think it was about the vagina, if I ain't wrong.
To be honest, I don't actually remember what I said, but today, that the day that we are filming the podcast, is the Bulba's day. So
So happy birthday, Bulba.
Congratulations to Wilma.
Uh, okay, so Andy, you told us before we start recording this, you wanted to talk about some things that we missed the last time. What did you wanted to talk about?
Oh yeah, well, I remember we kind of stopped the podcast talking about how someone must know each other and well, not each other, but you need to know yourself sexually and what makes you feel good and what doesn't. Also, something that led me to think, it led me to think about something else, which is pornography. It's very common it's more common for men to watch pornography, but I want to tell that pornography is actually kind of a lie, because something that I've learned and heard is that pornography is actually a lie about how sexual intercourse really is. It first objectifies women, and well, the pornography industry is also something kind of disgusting. You really shouldn't support it because it actually first objectifies women. It's part of sex trafficking, actually, and well, it and based with sexual education, it's more because it gives you such an idea about what it is having sex. First of all, um, a normal, average sexual intercourse, I think that it can last um, like, well, yeah, like 10 minutes maximum. I'm not really sure, but it's actually kind of short. And in pornography, it gives you the idea that men actually last a very long time, and well, you need to have a big penis and everything, and it's actually a lie. Most of men actually, ejaculate and finish their and reach the orgasm are I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of the intercourse. So it's actually kind of short, and it gives you such an idea, and you can harm yourself by thinking, by having the wrong idea of how it is. I don't know if you have any opinion or.
so about what Andy said, I think that he's right. Like he has very good opinions, but also something that he's not talking about is that the fact that pornography is thanks to us. Well, not to us because I don't watch it because it's wrong for me. Because all what he said um, involves other people, but I think that we should see it more in a personal point of view. Like for you, it's okay for you to be watching people who you don't actually know, who you don't actually. I mean, it's basically watching the two strangers having sex. I don't know. I feel for me it's weird, and I'm not gonna satanize it because I know it's something common. But I think we should question why do it and why do we watch the kind of porn we watch? Because in porn, actually, there's a lot of kinks that are very violent that normalize rape and all those stuff, and that could give you a wrong message, and I think that's dangerous, especially for young minds.
Yes, and something that Andy said that I want to talk about it too. It's how important they do it like for 30 minutes, 1 hour, things like that. But it's actually a short thing because I think I did a little research before this because I was bored. Not gonna lie, I was bored. And I think the men's ejaculation is from 10 to 15 minutes and the woman is from 20 to 25 if I am wrong. Like it's a pretty short time, like if you put it aside of the porn.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know the exact estimated time, but like also something that it gives you is the idea that you can have sex multiple times and finish multiple times when it's actually really hard for men. For women, it's kind of easier to have have a sexual intercourse multiple times, but for men, it's actually pretty hard. For some women, it's also hard because well, it's also tiring, but it's kind of a lie. And what Sarah said is actually true. It has a lot of videos that could give a junk um, kid, child, well, not child, teen, maybe the wrong idea, like rapism, and also most of the pornography streaming websites have a lot of underage pornography, which is something illegal and which they don't take care about, and is actually something pretty concerning. Also, they have a lot of videos which are uploaded without the consent of the people in it, so it's something actually pretty dangerous.
Well,
I think
I
that
think, yeah, yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You go first, first.
No, no, speak, speak. No, un caso. Well, I think that something that Andy said, it's very true. And also the fact that in the videos, they just focus the attention, well, the camera in men's in the men's penis. Like that's the all all the scene. And I think it's all based in the men's pleasure. And I think, but at the same time, they can't explore other things without falling in the gay category. If you want to see a man exploring himself in a porn video, you have to go to the gay section because you can find it in the other one.
There's a little like something curious. Some pornography pages have like this thing that when they normally have like three categories. Heterosexual, homosexual, and transsexual is like the most common like different catalogs that pornography pages have, and it's something weird that if you are in heterosexual porn, you can find heterosexual porn and lesbian porn, but you can't find gay porn. To see that, you need to go to the homosexual porn. Like there is where you can see like this is something kind of how you will say it's like a gender thing. They're making a little of yeah, they aren't treating both genders as the same. I mean.
Exactly as what Sarah said, it's mostly based on men's pleasure, which is something really wrong because having sexual intercourse first is something intimate and it's sharing what you like and what you don't like with someone else. And it's about, of course, you need to have pleasure because if you don't enjoy it, you shouldn't do it, only if you want to. But also you have to think about what the other one wants because in most of like pornography videos and like the common porn video, it's really common for women to be objectified as only something to bring you pleasure and not as something to give pleasure to each other.
And another thing that I notice a lot is that they objectify the lesbians. Like a lot. The porn lesbian is made for men. It's not made for lesbians. Also, uh, always in the videos, the girl is there just to be used. They don't really focus like about showing her feeling anything else thanks to her. You know what I mean? She's just like there screaming for the men. And I mean, if you teach that to be honest, a kid, because the kids already watch those stuff, what are they gonna believe in the future? I mean, it's very dangerous, and the way that the child's mind interprets those things, it's very dangerous.
Yeah, and also something that I remembered is that it gives you not only a lie about how sex is, but also about the human body. Because in what pornography does, it gives you an idea of what it is like. It is socially known as the perfect woman, which there's not such thing as perfect or imperfect, but like every body is different, like color, form, and everything. And it also gives them an idea to like they must have sex with a woman that has like I don't know, big breasts or big how do you say butt or tiny or something. And it also gives them the idea to feel bad about themselves if they don't really have like a big penis, which is something that actually isn't required um, for being good at sex. Because actually I think that it's like 13 centimeters, like the depth in a vagina for a woman to feel pleasure. The extra is just like nothing else. So it actually is, it gives you the wrong idea. And if you base your ideas of what sex is and like you have like your sexual education from porn, you'll be well missed out, and could you could like be at risk of a lot of stuff.
Okay, so I think we touched everything we wanted about this topic. Sarah, Andy, do you want to add something else?
Well, something that we didn't talk about, though, letting pornography aside, teen pregnancy, I think we didn't mention it enough. It's something very important because if kids don't really have sexual education, that can lead to teen pregnancy, and that can be something really, it's a very serious topic. Also, teenagers need to know, to learn maybe since elementary school or high school, that the only how do you say the only method to prevent a pregnancy, an STD, is the condom. Because you can maybe prevent pregnancy from pills, from condoms, from the why the LT thing. I'm sorry, I didn't remember the name. But you need to protect yourself from an STD, and with that, you can only use a condom. There is nothing else that can protect you from that.
I think that you said something very important, that when when teachers gave us the sexual class, they always talk about the ATs, like if they were something the end of the world and you should be embarrassed of it, and they sometimes make jokes about it. And I think that's like the worst thing that they can do, because in personal experience, like my father works with people with VIH. I don't really know how to say it in English. Um, and they suffer for a lot of discrimination for the condition. They sometimes when the family found out, they abandon them or something like that. I
You're
don't know.
you're right. Actually, like from personal experience, also I met the brother of a really close friend of my mom was homosexual. I'm saying was because he has passed out recently, but like he got HIV, and from like even friends or family, he could be criticized, and I could hear a lot of talking about, oh no, it's because like gay. If you're gay, you are more in danger to having like an STD, and it also includes in sexual education because if you don't get well taught, then you might be at risk. But it doesn't mean it's because you're gay. It's only because you weren't taught that you need to protect yourself. Actually, doesn't matter your sexual preference or with who you are.
So I don't have any like personal experience like with the things that you're talking about. You both, but I think that what both you both said it's very true. I mean, society like push people to think that their mentality is wrong, like being like homosexual stuff and stuff like that is wrong, but it is not. It's just that they weren't taught well. They didn't have the sexual preparation, stuff like that. And yeah, it's very true.
Also, something really, really important about contraceptive methods like the pills and everything. There are different types of pills. Like they are the ones that you take the day after if you forgot to use a condom. Well, the woman takes the day after, and there are ones that women have to take every night, every single day. But it's different. The gynecologist should tell her how to, like if they need those pills. But the after day pill, the plan B, is actually something that is really, really dangerous. In first world countries, actually women need to have like a record of if they have taken the pill that year, because I think they can only take it once a year or maybe every 6 months, because it what it does is that it messes up the whole hormones and the system of the woman to make them have like a period to not get pregnant. But it's something that actually gets them in a lot of danger, and they could actually end up being infertile, which is something really serious. And it's something that men also don't think about and don't worry about. And I think it's something that is really, really wrong.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of friends that took the pill like 8 times a year, and that make them like sick like you don't have an idea. I take care of them like they have fever, they very awful things, and their couples don't even care about them. Like they didn't even think about the fact that they were going to get sick because of the pills.
Exactly. Uh, in my case, being a male and liking women, if well, for every male that has a relationship or has intercourse with women, like because of pregnancy and stuff, you do need to care about using a condom. You cannot say like, oh, let's not use one and you just take the pill, because that's actually some kind of abuse, because you are not really taking care of the people you're being with. And there are more methods. Actually, there's a new shot that men can take that it makes you, you know, have sperms in your semen, and it lasts like I think 13 years, and
Yeah, it's
it
new.
doesn't harm you. It's not dangerous, and it's way better because you can remove it and you can have kids if at the time you do want to. But the Plan B pill is something that is really dangerous. And like here in Mexico, you can actually go and buy one just like that. Like you can just go to any pharmacy or drugstore and buy one. And that's not right, because if you take, it's actually not recommended to take more than two once a year. And there's people that I know that take one every month or even every twice a week, and it's hard. It's really dangerous.
Yeah, so I don't have like another time like the last time I commented. I don't have like really personal experience for that or like really much friends that have lived with that type of experience, but I know it's true because it sounds like stuff that it is true. And yeah, so what I gathered right now, what you both said, like women have to be responsible with our the health of us and our partners. Like for example, we cannot take the risk of like Andy said, of not take the well, not use the condom and be responsible and selfish because you were like, let's do it right now. I don't have a condom, or I feel it better without it. I mean, we have to be responsible with that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I'm agree with you, but I think that the most important thing about the use of anticonceptives is that when they teach us about them, they don't really tell you where you can find them or actually how to use it, because lots of people don't really knows how to put a condom, and it's the basic. I mean, it's a basic, but
You're totally
lots of
right.
people don't know, because in the schools, yeah, because in the schools they think more about the embarrassing we could feel, or the parents, uh, I don't know, the parents, I don't know how to say it, prejuicios and all those stuff. In and they should think more about our future, about how much the information they are giving us are gonna help us.
Exactly. Like, when I was in middle school, they actually, they told us that they were going to show us how to put on a condom. Like, they often do a demonstration with a banana or a cucumber, but actually they never did that because a lot of people were like, "Oh my god," and they were laughing and they were like embarrassed. And it's something that you don't have to be embarrassed about, and it's something really important because if you misplace a condom, it can create a bubble of air, and the condom can break, and then you might have a baby, and it's something really important. And also they don't really tell you like, well, that the condoms you can buy them in almost everywhere, like I don't know, like a drugstores, like in most of the places you can buy condoms, but only men's. You can. It's actually really hard to find condoms for women. And about the other things, you don't really have an idea of where to get them, like the patches or a vasectomy. Well, and you often have to ask your gynecologist, which is something that only women do, because for men there are not a lot of birth control methods, because in this society we don't really people don't really think about men being responsible, and they only care about making the woman do something.
Yeah. So like for example, the example that you said, the vasectomy. I mean, that is like I would say like a little bit like more like not exaggerated, but a little bit more like you are up to the. I mean, I don't. I think that you can like not cancel, but like the vasectomy, you got the stuff, right? So I think that it is not permanent, right? The
Yeah,
vasectomy.
I think that it now can be like reversed, because I think before, well, I don't really know, but like in the earlier times you couldn't really get a rebirth, but I think now you can. But it's actually like maybe getting a vasectomy is something like more of your decision and being well taught, because it's like, well, I'm gonna get a vasectomy and it's because I don't want any children. You know, you don't really have the idea of getting a reverse. Maybe you can have it, but it's actually like not, let's say, nothing to use for birth control. It's something to use like I don't want any kids or any risk at all, never. So like for the rest of my life, and that's when you decide to get a vasectomy.
Yeah, I agree very much with that because it's like a matter of, of you, of your personal opinion, as you said. And I mean, the bisectomy is like a little bit more important because, yeah, as you said, it's the you, yeah, as you said, it's more like people that they say that they don't want any kids like in the time, like in a large period of time, like let's say like what 10 years or stuff like that. So yeah.
And actually, many men are like, um, let's say, not well taught about what a vasectomy really is, because first, well, how I said, in the society, men are really taught to have responsibility or take like for birth control or taking care, and some most of men that unless a man really maybe like in the most common times when a man gets a vasectomy is when they are married and they already have kids and they don't want any more kids. But most men don't really want them because they don't really know what it is. It's just to cut like the supply of sperms in your semen, and that's all. And that's something that also needs to be taught.
Okay, so I
I,
think talk,
I
please no talk.
okay. Something that you said about the birth control made me think about the fact that there's not just that way, the vasectomy, to men take responsibility in the moment of the act. Because when when you're there, you can perfectly say to your girlfriend or your partner that no, you have to use condom. I mean, it's weird that men said that it's it's not common to find a man that cares about it because well they teach them to not to care, but it's something easy that you can easily do.
Yeah.
Just
No, well, yeah, as you said, I'm not saying that it's the only method for birth control.
yeah,
I
I
think
know,
you're
I know.
still right. But as what I say is that men really don't want to take responsibility. Men are taught, well, we men are taught to not really take responsibility, like from society, not really like from your parents who tell you like you have to objectify women, but in society it's very common sin, you know. And what I mean is that if a man never really wants to take care of kids, they don't really care about getting a vasectomy, and they would like, well, let's say the common guy who is well, not well taught and it does objectify women. Most of the men that I know that they say like, I don't want kids ever in my life. They don't want to get a vasectomy. They rather say like, oh well, they rather say to their partners to take the pill or to abort, and it's something that I don't really understand how men couldn't do. One thing that is not gonna harm their bodies or their hormones or anything is just gonna make them not produce any sperm. Like, why wouldn't they do it? And it's because they don't not really thought about you can do it and it's fine and you need to be responsible.
So I think for today we have said all we needed. Maybe if this gets a lot of support, we could make a part three because while you were talking, I thought about some topics that we missed, like for example, gender of the clothing. We didn't talk about how people gives a gender to the kind of clothes you use, and that's something important. Like the appearance of people, it's something that we didn't touch, and how they make a little of racism. But that will be for a third podcast in case this has a lot of support. So I think it will be it for today. Something to say, Luis, Andy, Sarah, like to close?
Nothing. Just thanks for inviting me again. It's nice to be here. It's cool to
Oh
talk
no, no.
about
Thank you
serious
for being here. You do this like more fluent. So that will be it. So goodbye, guys.
Bye.
But